Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make zone multipliers for our superpower training simulator game. And I also published the game, so now if you want to test out the final result, it'll be in the description. So let's get started. This might take a bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our lead stats folder or script. Let's go to the bottom because we have to make new values for our multipliers. So I'm gonna make a new comment. You can go down a few lines. I'm gonna do zone multipliers. Now I'm gonna go down to, actually I'm just gonna go right here. Okay, so the first thing that we should do is make our strength zone multiplier. So local, I'm just gonna do s zone multi. So we're making a variable called s zone multi, which should stand for strength zone multiplier. And then equals instance dot new. We're going to do let's do a number value, and let's put it in the player. So we're making a new instance and we're setting it to a number value. Same thing as adding a number value into any place in the studio, and we're pairing it to the player. Now let's give it a name. SZoneMulti.name equals SZoneMulti. And now let's finally give it a value. SZoneMulti.value equals 1. So this is what the default value will be when you join the game. We're setting it to 1 because if we do 0, then it'll mess up the way we gain stats. So you can just copy this and paste it again, or we can retype it as I will do. And let's add our endurance multiplier. So local ezone multi, making a new variable called endurance zone multiplier equals instance dot new. We're once again gonna make a new instance and set it to number value. Gonna put this in the player as well. Let's give it a name. EzoneMulti.name equals EzoneMulti. I don't know if I've cleared this up, but we set the name because once it's added into the player, it's just going to be called a number value, even though we made the variable EzoneMulti that doesn't affect the actual name it'll be inside of the player. So we have to set the name here to make it show as EzoneMulti in the player, if that makes sense. So now we're going to do EzoneMulti.value equals 1, giving it a single value. Now let's do our final stat, psychic. So local pZoneMulti equals instance dot new number value, put it in the player. So we're making a new variable called psychic zone multiplier, creating a new instance and making it a number value. And let's put that in the player. Now let's do pZone dot name to give it its name. So pZoneMulti. And now let's give it a value, pZoneMulti.value, and 1. So now that we've got our zone multiplier set up, now we have to apply them to our tools. So let's close out of the script. In starter pack, open that up. You should have your 3 tools. Let's start with the meditate tool. Open that up and go into the script you have in the meditate tool. Now here on the 9th line, or depends on how many lines you have, at the end of after the dot value, we're gonna do times player dot pzone multi dot value. So we're gonna multiply all of this by whatever their zone multiplier is at that current time. Let's close out of that script now. Now we can close our meditate tool to open our punch tool and go into our script in the punch tool. Same thing in the psychic tool or meditate. On the 4th line, we're going to go to the end where it says player.strengthMulti.value and do times player.SZoneMulti.value. Now I'm going to close out of this. Let's go to our push-up tool finally. Open that up. Go into our script on the 4th line. At the end, after player.endMulti.value, we're going to do times. So, in case you didn't realize yet, times is a star symbol instead of an X symbol because, well, X is a letter. It's just how the system works. We're going to do times player.EZoneMulti.value. And now we can close out of the script. Now we've got our zone multipliers set and ready. So those are working fine and we've got that finished. Now we have to make our actual zone. So I'm just going to real quick insert a part, and I'm going to make this, let's say, a simple rock. So it could be like this. Let's give it a rocky material. Let's see which material looks like rock. I guess I can just do concrete. I'm gonna do granite just for test, I guess. Just gonna make it bigger. We can add little bits to it, and we got ourselves a simple little rock. Now select all of your parts for your structure. Press Ctrl G or right click and press, or actually go to the model tab and press on the group button next to union and negate, and the color and material buttons. Press group. Rename the group by either double clicking on it, pressing F2, or right clicking on it and pressing on rename. Let's name this rock zone. So these are our parts. So let's real quick anchor our group. So all of our parts in here are anchored. Now what we're going to do, copy any one of the parts, and then what we're going to do with this is scale it upwards. So we're going to make it a little bit larger than the zone itself, cover up the entire zone with the part, and rename the part to hitbox. This is going to be the part that renders when the player is actually in the zone. Now go to our properties tab. Let's search up transparency. Change our transparency to maximum so we don't see our hitbox. Now in properties, search up can collide and disable this so there's no check mark. This makes it so we can go through the part instead of just pushing into it and not being able to go past it. Now this part is a little bit time consuming if you don't understand it. Duplicate the hitbox by either right clicking it and pressing duplicate, or selecting it and pressing Ctrl D. Now rename the new hitbox to, I'm just going to do unhitbox, because this part is going to remove the multiplier when the player gets out of the zone. Scale the unhitbox to as small as it can be, so about there. Make it a little bit thicker just in case. Now make it a bit taller and a bit to the side on both ends. Now with this, you want to move it out 3 times at least, so 1, 2, 3. This is pretty much when the player is outside of the zone, the player is going to be able to reset their multiplier so they don't have it all the time. I'm not sure if that makes sense. So then you can just do the same thing on the other side, or you can duplicate on hitbox, drag it to the other side. So now we have a unhitbox on both sides. Now here's a little trick you can do. Once you have an unhitbox on both sides of the hitbox, select both unhitbox parts. Press Ctrl D or right click and duplicate it. Go to your model tab, go to your rotate and set it to 90 degrees. Go to your rotate tool and turn it once. And now you can see there's a wall on both sides, and we now have 4 unhitbox parts. Now select your 2 new unhitbox parts, or actually select one of them first. Scale it on both ends a little bit outwards, and on the other unhitbox on the other side you would like to do the same thing. Now we've got our basic box shape here. Let's select our first 2 unhitboxes, which are the ones on both of these sides, so on this side and on this side. Let's select those and also scale them along the side, just like this. Now one more final detail we can do is duplicate this wall, scale it up to the top, make it a little out, and scale it completely across. So now the player cannot jump out of the zone to keep their multiplier. Now select 4 of your unhit boxes and put them inside of one of your unhit boxes. So now we have an entire hitbox that we can move around and adjust however we'd like, as you can see. So you may scale this up if you would like. I'm going to scale it a little bit up so it doesn't interfere as much with our actual hitbox. As you can see, our actual hitbox is slightly not touching the edges. Now in your rock zone, or whatever your zone is named, your model, press on the plus, insert a number value like this. So insert a number value in your rock zone. Let's rename this to requirement. This value is gonna tell us how much the player has to have as a minimum strength or whatever stat to be able to use it. So I'm gonna set this to 100. So if the player has 100 strength, they'll be able to use this zone. Now press the plus once again on rock zone and add another number value. This one's gonna be our multiplier, so rename it to multiplier. Change its value to whatever you'd like. I'm gonna do a 5 times multiply, pretty high, but it's for the video. Actually, let's do a 3 times since it's a little more natural. Now in hitbox, press the plus on hitbox and insert a script. Now this script, the first thing we're gonna do is script.parent.touch connect function hits. So this gets when the part is touched, and so script.parent is the part, and then .touch gets when somebody touches a part, and when something touches the part, it's gonna be put into hit. Now the way to get player this way is we're gonna do local player equals game get service. So this, and then we're gonna get service players. So this is getting a service that's in the game called players, and we're gonna do get player from character hit dot parent. So this is going to get the character. So this is pretty much the character, and then this is the parent of the character, or the hit part. This is a bit annoying to explain, but basically this is how we're gonna get player in this script. And now we're gonna make sure that it is the player. So we're gonna do if player, then so let's make sure that it's a player that hit the part, so we don't accidentally add it to, let's say, another part that touched it. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna check if the player has met the requirements. So if player dot strength dot value is greater than or equal to script dot parent dot requirement dot value, then. So this checks if the player's strength value is greater than or at least equal to. So if they have 100 or more strength, then we're going to set their multiplier to 3. So we're going to do player dot szone multi dot value equals script dot parent dot multiplier dot value. So this sets that zone multiplier value to whatever we set our multiplier value up here to. So this is this script completed. So you can close out of this script. Now, in case you want, you can copy this entire script or duplicate the script, and then you want to put it inside of unhitbox. So you can just paste the script in here, or just add a new script, paste it there like that. So in this script, we're just gonna remove a few lines. We're gonna remove if player then, and we're going to remove the end at the end. So the script is gonna look like this: script.parent.touch connect function hit local player equals game get service players get player from character hit.parent, and then if the player's strength reaches the requirement, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the player's multiplier to 1. It actually, instead of this, what we're gonna do, let's let's change this to if player. So instead of all of that, checking if it's meeting the requirement, let's just do if player then player's zone multi.value equals 1 end. So now you want to right click on the script and press copy. And here's a little trick. If you select all of the unhitboxes and you press Ctrl Shift V, it's going to paste the script into every one of the hitboxes. So now the script should be finished. So let's give this a try. So press on play. Let's let this load. If some of that didn't make sense to you, you can message me on Discord or ask a question in the comments. So right now, when we punch, we're gaining 1. As you can see, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and so on. If we go into the multiplier, into the zone, we're not going to gain anything because we don't have the requirement. The requirement is 100. So let's increase this a little bit so we can get there quicker. As you can see, now we have 100 strength, and as you can see, every time I click, I gain 4. See, 117 should be 121, 125, 129, and so on. But if we go into our zone, when we click, as you can see, it's giving us 2 times that amount. As you can see, it's quite a difference. Well, actually, 3 times, because I set it to 3 times, and I completely forgot about that. But as you can see, it's giving us 12 instead of 4. So it's 5, we got 12, and it's 17. And if we leave the zone, now we're only gaining 4 once again. Let's go back into our zone. Once again, getting 12. And let's leave one more time. And we're gaining 4. So that's our zone multipliers working. I'm just going to show you how to copy this and change this into a different zone. So let's say our endurance zone. Let's duplicate this model. You can drag it to the side, or you can remake the model and such, but that would take quite a bit. You could rewind the video and see that part. So right here we can duplicate our model by pressing Ctrl D, or just right clicking on it and pressing duplicate. Drag it off to the side. I'm going to make the model look a bit different. I'm just going to scale this down, maybe make it look a bit like a mattress, because a person could be doing push-ups on a mattress. So let's just make this smooth plastic. Just add a little color. It's looking more like a bed than a mattress, but that's fine. It is just an example. Alright, so now let's make this requirement, let's say 125. Maybe we want this to give us a 5 times multiplier. So just change your requirement multiplier if you would like. Now go into your hitbox and open up the script. Change strength to endurance, or whatever your stat is going to be. Oh yeah, make sure you rename this. I'm going to be mattress zone, I guess. So change endurance or strength to endurance, or whatever your stat is. And now in this line, on line 5, change S zone multi to the first letter of what your stat is, so endurance, so E zone multi. And now you can do the same thing with the rest of the scripts, the on hitboxes. Just gotta change this one line, player.S zone multi to E zone multi. I'm just gonna do this real quick. We could just create one script and duplicate them into the rest of the scripts, but we're going to do this way just for example. Change E zone multi in all of these. Now that should be our new zone already done. As you can see, that didn't take that long to add a new zone. Now let's do some push-ups. As you can see, if we go into the zone, we have no difference in our multiplier. And we're going to need some money to get there quicker. So let's do this. Let's get to 125. As you can see, every time I click, I gain 4. And now if I go into my zone, as you can see, we're gaining 10, or no, 20. As you can see 20. Let's leave our zone once again. We're gaining 4. Let's go back into our zone and we're getting 20 once more. So hope this video helped you make multipliers, and once again, if you need any help, just ask me in the comments or message me on Discord, and hope you enjoyed.